Good morning. It's Sunday, in case you were wondering what day it is. And you might be feeling right now that you're a little bit paralyzed. You might not know what action is the right action for you to take. You might be feeling like things are muddled up inside your brain, and you know you should be taking action and actually want to take action, but you have no idea what the right next step for you is. And that's why I'm so pleased that Ashley Rainsbarger has agreed to talk to us today. Ashley, I've been watching Ashley for a long time on social media, and today's actually the first time we're getting to talk voice on voice. And Ashley asks really amazing questions of her audience, and she is a subconscious growth coach and a quantum healer. She works specifically with coaches to help them overcome the barriers to visibility. And I think after you hear what she has to say today, you'll understand why she's so effective in helping her clients create more money in their business. So Ashley, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that.
Thank you for having me. It's so nice to get to talk to you and to be here. I appreciate it.
Can you tell us about the tool you're going to share with us today? Because we're all about like something tangible that we can do to help stay calm and centered and grounded.
Yes, absolutely. I am a huge fan and huge advocate for journaling. And I've actually developed my own signature process, and it's a 4-step master your mindset process. And so I'm actually going to share that with you guys here so that you can work through anything that you're currently struggling with.
Excellent. I'm excited because I'm not the best journaler in the world. I always feel like I'm doing it wrong, or my brain moves faster than my pen can move. So I'm really excited to hear what you have to share.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
All right. So I turn it over to you.
Awesome. Okay. So I know like a lot of people, when they are thinking about journaling, they're thinking about, Dear Diary, my day sucks and my husband's driving me crazy. And like my boss he's driving me crazy too. And like just kind of that word vomit or that venting and just getting it all out on paper. But journaling, and there's a time and there's a place for that. And that can be really helpful just to get it all out, just to help you release that. That is really helpful. But also journaling becomes more effective when we do it in a really intentional way. And the way to practice intentional journaling is to tap into your own inner wisdom and ask yourself questions and trust the answers that come with you. So what I want to teach you guys today is something that I call the CAT journaling process. It's CAAT, and it stands for clarity, awareness, action, and trust. And you can use this process to really help you figure out, exactly what it is you're struggling, how you've kept yourself struggling, like why you're not moving through it, and what you're going to do about it. So clarity is all about, what am I struggling with and what do I want to experience instead? So if you're watching this, hopefully you have a journal or a piece of paper, write these down. What am I struggling with? And what do I want to be experiencing instead? So a lot of times when we're struggling with something, we're not actually like taking the time to ask ourselves, what am I so freaked out about? What am I actually scared of? Like, what is the thing that's like making me feel so anxious right now? I know, especially as entrepreneurs, as coaches, as business owners, there's a lot of anxiety and fear right now, just in, is my business going to be okay? Or for those of us who are starting a business, is it a good time to actually still continue starting my business, or am I just crazy? So ask yourself, what is it that I'm struggling with? And what do I want to be experiencing instead? So just for an example, as entrepreneurs, I'm struggling with fear and anxiety in my business. I'm struggling with the fear of the unknown. What is going to happen right now? And the thing that I want to be experiencing instead is, I just want to have a sense of peace and calm, that it's going to be okay. That is really what I would love to be experiencing right now, to feel like I have some level of control. And so that's when we move into awareness. Awareness is the most involved section. It's the most questions, but it starts with, what stories am I making up in my head right now? What are all the stories I'm making up about why the thing that I want can't happen? So let's just say you are starting a virtual business, and of course, all this crazy stuff started to happen. The story that you might be making up is, oh, it's a really bad time to start a business, or, oh, nobody's going to want to give me money right now, or, oh, it's not ethical for me to be asking for money right now. Like there's a whole bunch of stories that we make up in our mind about why it's completely out of our control and we can't be experiencing what we actually want to be experiencing. So the next thing to do is really to identify the fear. So if I'm making up all those stories, what fear are the stories coming from, right? And they're coming from just the fear of, well, I don't want people to judge me for continuing to sell. It's coming from the fear of, like, I don't know what the future of my business is. It's coming from the fear of, is it okay to talk about my business right now? It's really a lot of times coming from the fear of, what are other people going to think if, as a virtual coach or as a virtual entrepreneur, that I'm continuing my business as usual. Yeah.
I just want to unmute myself for a second. Oops. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
I had this exact experience this morning, Ashley. I had been, the minute that this all started to happen, I created a list of 10 things that you can do right now in your business. And I then had my VA created into a PDF so that I could, use it as to help people, but also like as a lead generator right now, right? And this morning I finally got like the tech together and I put it out on my website and I put it out on some Facebook pages, and I was like, maybe it's so lame. Maybe I'm a jerk for putting this out there. Maybe people already know all this stuff. Maybe we're 20 days in and people have already figured it out, right? Maybe I'm too late. And so I want to share that because I think people think that just because you're coaches that you always have mastery around your own mind and you don't have to do this work. But no matter how much into the mind mastery you've been practicing, I think like I'm a good example of, we always need more practice.
Yeah. And what happens too, like as coaches, especially, we will judge ourselves for having those stories. We'll judge ourselves for having that fear and feel like, well, I should be better than this. But the truth is there is always work to do. And whenever those stories come up, it's just an opportunity for you to get really honest with yourself and say, no, okay, it's okay that I am experiencing this, that I'm feeling this, how am I going to react to it? And that's the important part. So we identify, what is the actual fear? What is it that I'm scared of? Because again, we go through feeling all these feelings, making up all these stories, and we don't actually sit down and get clear about what exactly is it that I'm scared of. Once you've done that, now you get to identify the belief that's causing the fear. So we're going deeper here. So if the fear is that, will people judge me for posting about my business or for trying to sell during this time? The belief there really comes down to, I'm not going to be accepted. I'm not going to be loved and accepted if I'm doing something that I want to do, if I'm doing something and other people are judging me for it. So it's coming down to like that internal instinct to really just want to be loved and accepted, to want to be,
which goes to everything that's based in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Like, this is, once you can get that deep identifying thing, you're like, oh, at my base, I don't feel safe. I don't feel like I belong. I don't feel loved. And when you can get there, so much peace can happen.
Yes.
I love
it
this.
Always comes down
I love
to,
this.
I'm not enough. Yeah. And so we've identified the belief that's causing the fear. Then it comes down to, okay, am I ready to release it? Like, am I ready to let that fear go? Even though I'm feeling it, even though I'm experiencing it, am I going to let it control the action that I decide to take? Because here's the thing, as a mindset coach, a subconscious growth coach, clients and potential clients will often tell me, I just want the fear to go away. Like, I don't want to feel it anymore. And here's the thing, like, it doesn't go away. Like, I've done years and years and years of this work, and I still wake up with a fear of something, like a fear of not being enough, a fear of doing too much or not doing enough. And the difference between people who have mental mastery and people who don't is what you do with that fear. It's not that we don't feel the fear. It's what you do with it. So you have to ask yourself, am I ready to release it, or am I going to let it control the next thing that I do in my business? Right. And once you've decided that, no, I'm not going to let it control. I'm going to continue to take action. What am I going to choose to believe instead? So in this case, if we're believing, maybe I won't be loved and accepted. Maybe people are going to judge me for trying to sell my business. The opposite of that belief would be like, no, like I actually have something that is really helpful to people during this time. There are people who are still absolutely happy to pay me with the thing that I can help them with. Like there are, just like before, there were people who would pay me and people who wouldn't. And the same thing is true now. There are people who will pay you and there are people who won't. And so I'm going to choose to believe that there are still people out there and that I deserve to be paid for the thing that I help them with, which is probably so much more helpful right now, so much more important right now, right? So the next thing is action. So you really have to get honest with yourself about, okay, this fear that I've had, what is the action that has kept me from taking? In particular, I work with coaches who are, who have a hard time being visible. So they might have a hard time writing content, or they might have a hard time going live, or they might have a hard time, even if they're good at that, they have a hard time actually inviting people to calls, or they have a hard time making the offer once they get them on the call. Somewhere along the way, there's a fear of visibility. So you have to ask yourself, what am I not doing because of this fear? If I'm getting really honest with myself, what have I not been doing? And now that I have that awareness, what am I going to do? What action am I going to take? And I think we get all wrapped up in like, it has to be like this big action. I have to do these big things. But just ask yourself, what is the smallest, tiniest thing that I can do right now that is going to allow me to move forward? Is it doing a Facebook post? Is it reaching out to some people that I've worked with before that I know might be interested in what I'm doing right now? Is it going live? What is the thing that I can do now? And then it comes down to trust. Okay, it comes down to trust. And this is, I think, the hardest part for people, because what happens when we are afraid, the reason that we are afraid is because we are not at all relying on the trust that we have in ourselves to deal with whatever is happening. We're not relying on the trust that we have in other people to support us because we're so strong, right? And we don't have to ask for help, and we can do it all by ourselves. And we're even not relying on the trust that we have in our higher power, in our faith, whether you believe in God or the universe or whatever that is for you. I want you to really ask yourself, what is it that I'm not trusting right now? What is it? Am I not trusting myself to deal with this, to be okay? Am I not asking for help? And am I not, building my relationship in my higher power? I have this faith. Am I actually using it? Right? And then just ask yourself, how can I build on that? What can I do to build the trust in myself? What can I do to build that relationship with other people and ask for support? What can I do to build that relationship in my faith? And, for people, that's meditating, and it's journaling, and it's just having a conversation with a friend, and it's walks in nature, and it's all that stuff, that action, not just the external like business action, but the internal action. What am I not doing? Right? So I think that's really what it comes down to: clarity, awareness, action, and trust. Allow yourself to just go through that process. Pick one thing that you're struggling with. Ask yourself those questions. Tap into that inner wisdom and trust what other answers are coming to you. We're always searching for like answers outside of ourselves. Who or what has like the best next action for me, or the best advice for me, but you actually already know so much and you're just not relying on it.
So true. What I'm seeing a lot of people do right now, and I've actually gotten sucked into this a little bit, is right now there are so many free workshops. People are giving, you can, so much information is coming at us. And I tend to watch the same kind of things over and over again. Like I love talking about marketing, content creation, copy, all that stuff is super fun to me. And for some reason I'm drawn to talk to like learn more about it. I'm like, Jen, enough. You are like an expert on it. Go ahead and just take some action right now. So is that something that you're seeing in your people and your audience and your clients, that they just keep consuming information as action when really they should be doing a different kind of action?
Absolutely. And that comes down to not having that deeper trust in self, like not trusting that I know enough already to go do the next best thing. Because we think, well, other people must have all the answers.
Right.
But yeah, we use it as a way to stay safe. It's a way to stay safe, because if I continue to consume, then I don't have to show up as a leader. I don't have to put myself in that position. And then I don't have to risk being judged. I don't have to risk being visible in front of other people.
Yes. You know, when to do this interview series, the idea came to me in meditation about 2 weeks ago, or whenever I started it. It just like dropped right into my head. And it was scary because doing Facebook Lives is not my favorite thing to do. I'll do them, but it's not my favorite thing to do. And if something else came up, like go clean out the cat box came up, then I would do that before I do a Facebook Live. Exactly. But doing this and having to show up every single day has like, I don't feel any fear about it anymore. I just feel like it's a fun way to connect with a person. Sometimes it's people I've been following, but have never had the chance to have a voice-on-voice conversation with. Yeah. And so I have learned to trust that when an idea comes in, that I can take action on it. So I love your 4-prong approach, and I could see how it would take your clients very deep. I could see how this would benefit a lot of people. It seems like it's based in a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy also. Yeah.
Yep. And subconscious belief work. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So how can people follow you, Ashley, and learn more about what you do? And like, I know from following you, that just what you post on a daily basis is very motivating and causes you to be introspective. Where can people find you the easiest?
Yeah. You can always just add me as a friend on Facebook, because I love just to connect with people there. But also, if you are a coach, or if you are somebody who struggles with visibility, we actually are doing free 10-day in my group called the Mindful Coach. And not only will you be learning about what it means to be self-visible and what it means to get visible in front of other people, because I have a different approach and perspective to that, you're actually going to be taking action. So I don't want you just watching me and taking in more information like we typically do. I want you to take what I'm giving you and like go do something with it, so that we can continue to grow during this time. Because honestly, there's a lot of fear right now, but there are more people online than ever. And not everybody is financially affected. And even the people that are financially affected still want to, they're thinking a lot about life right now. They're thinking a lot about, how can I be better? And I want you out there saying, hey, here's what I can offer to help you be better.
So it's the Mindful Coach, a free 10-day visibility challenge?
Yes.
Is that a Facebook group?
I'm sorry.
Is it a Facebook group?
Yes, it's a Facebook group called The Mindful Coach.
So is it like just facebook.com/The Mindful Coach?
It's facebook.com/groups/The Mindful Coach.
Okay, I just want to make sure I get it in here. /groups/The Mindful Coach.
Yeah,
that's great. And on Facebook, you said you're open to friending people. What's your hashtag on? I'm sorry, you know what I mean. On Facebook, how can people get in touch with you?
It's just facebook.com/A Rainsbarger.
Okay, great.
And then tell us.
Yeah, it's very short, easy to spell. It's actually very easy to spell because it's exactly how it sounds. Yeah. Do you have anything that you need, like a freebie that people can download or anything like that?
I do have, and I'm getting it ready. I'm actually working on a really cool membership right now that's going to mix mindfulness and marketing. It's going to be mindfulbusinesscoach.org, but that's a project right now. And I have an opt-in called 55 journal prompts to help you heal the fear of visibility.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, I'm working on getting it ready, but if you send me a message, I'm happy to send you like the draft early so that you can get started on that process. I've given the draft out to a few people and it's been really helpful. So
okay, I will put that in the chat. Ashley, thank you so much. I really appreciate your insights, and we speak basically the same language, so it's really fun to talk about this with somebody who just like drinks the Kool-Aid like I do. Yeah. And I appreciate it so much. Is there anything else you want to share?
Oh no, I just appreciate you so much, and thank you. And just remember, guys, when you're feeling that fear, you absolutely can do something about it, and it's not as big and scary as you think. Just take
the tiniest step. Yes. Nice. Mm-hmm. Thank you. These are 4 great prompts to help you take some action forward. So thanks, Ashley. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.